Some research. Yo, yo, yo.
You know, you're not even gonna let the music play. You're just like gonna yammer.
I'm gonna yammer. I'm a yammering yam, man. That's what I do. I've been yammering.
Well, you complained in your Facebook post from our last podcast that I didn't do any research and didn't know what I was talking about for 15 minutes.
Yes. I didn't complain. I just pointed out.
You could step up.
I wanted people to know what they were getting into if they clicked that play button, that this is what they were putting into their ears. Not that I was complaining, just so that there was no idea that it was gonna be super fantastic. And you know what? Actually, I got a message that said, I don't know why you said that, because it was a great episode.
Well, see, you said it was the worst episode, and it was really the best episode, and that's your way of just downplaying my expert commentary that I contribute to this podcast.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's like the podcast that always say, "Oh, this is the worst episode ever," and it actually ends up not being so bad. But see, if I say that at the top, we already know it's going to go downhill from there. It's going to degrade like plutonium in a reactor that's lost all its water. It's just not good.
What?
Exactly. I know, right?
I have literally no idea what you were just saying.
Somebody does. Somebody.
I guess. I've never deep. Were you talking like explode or melt down, or what were we going for there?
There's a lot of theories, right? There's a lot of theories out there. But
no, there's really not. That's science. Like, no, I know. That is actually the opposite of theories. That's actually just science.
Well, the theories are that it would, if you didn't have the water in the reactor, that the plutonium would melt down and it would just like continue to burn through the center of the earth.
No, that's not a theory. That's not a theory. That's what happens.
Has it happened though, Dan? We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it.
Yes, it has.
A reactor hasn't just dropped from one side of the earth to the other side.
Well, if you're going to get ridiculous about it, we have not seen. You are technically correct.
Because there's something in the middle of the
pellets
earth.
Have not burned through the entire earth into its core and out the other side. Yes, that is correct. So
the middle
Captain
of
America
Earth is inhabited by dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs have eaten the plutonium pellets, and that's why they never get to the other side.
I thought we're in the Marvel universe. I thought the center of the earth was inhabited by mole-men.
Mole-men and dinosaurs, Dan. Mole-men and dinosaurs.
Aren't dinosaurs, like, isn't that Warlord? That's DC Comics.
Cadillacs and dinosaurs, Dan. Cadillacs and dinosaurs. That's the pot. We're going to talk about that now because Captain America Streets of Poison is just too much. This cover is too much for me.
Captain America 377 with Streets of Poison on the top in paint splatter. We've got a happy... So... On this cover, we have two versions of Captain America. One, we have Captain America at the top with a blue costume, and in down below, we have Captain America with a black costume.
Captain America looks
with blue undertones. So apparently, we haven't really noticed, but Captain America's costume has been changing over time.
Slowly, yes. It's kind of like plutonium when there's no water in the reactor, Dan.
Yeah,
just
then
melting away.
Additionally, on the cover, we have Crappy Lobo and Bullseye.
Yeah, and they're fighting over Captain America's carcass.
Otherwise known as Crossbones. And his, I think the most prominent feature
his crossbow.
From Crossbones is, well, he has his crossbow, but I think his crossbow pockets and his pouches are the most prominent feature on the cover.
Would you call them his battle bags or his battle sacks?
Man purses?
Man pouches, his merces. Yes,
his multiple merces.
Is he the merc with the merces?
He's the merc with the merces.
He's the merc with the merces. Yeah. And Bullseye has a very illegal handcrafted sawed off no stock shotgun.
And in the background we have the gray skull.
With the whoa! Oh
like
my god!
The castle.
This cover. This is the cover that just keeps on giving.
Yeah, like, why is Captain America on a, like, slab ready to go into Castle Grayskull?
It's maybe Castle Grayskull is ready. It's one of those things. It's like I said, plutonium melting away into the center of the earth, into Captain America, into Castle Grayskull. There you go.
Yeah. I'm expecting the Sorceress to appear soon.
Soon enough.
The Kevin Smith He-Man series on Netflix. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a yay too.
I like it.
A lot of people nade it. Yeah.
Really? Wow. I mean, that's like it's kind of like the new Turtles movie. Like you have to just take it for what it is and just be happy for it. I mean, we're probably gonna get a lot of heat for my comment here, and I know we differ on opinions of certain things, but
don't plan to watch the Turtles movie, so continue.
But I mean, like it's how I feel about when it's about I say this about any fandom. All we do is say we want these things all the time, and then when we get the thing that we want, we get more of the thing we want. We complain about the thing that we got instead of just being happy that we got it. It's like, come on, can't you just be happy that you got it? Or if you don't like it, just don't watch it. Don't care about it. I mean, it's just like, like Turtles, I'll watch it. I'll watch all the stuff because I just like it. Same with Star Wars, Star Trek, anything that comes out. If I like it, if I've liked it in the past.
That's an interesting point.
What?
That you're making.
Because I mean, I say that, and it's basically like I will enjoy it for what it is. I won't enjoy everything about it all the time.
We'll have to agree to disagree because we're reading Captain America: Streets of Poison right now, and this is very hard to enjoy.
I totally agree.
I don't think I would just be happy as a Captain America fan if this shit was being dumped on me every bi-weekly.
Well, I mean, again, there's going to be more later. So, I mean,
I would like to offer a slightly different thesis if I could.
Yeah.
I think my thesis would be, don't complain about it just because it's not what you expected.
Yeah.
But you have every right to complain about it if it's just a pile of crap.
Well,
right. Like the He-Man story was well told. Spoiler, the Tila story was well told, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It was a well put together story. I could understand why some people didn't like it because it's not what they expected, but it wasn't bad, right? It was well constructed. It had a through line. It was an easy to follow story, right? That's fine. That's why I'm talking. It's not my He-Man. Well, the He-Man storytelling in the original cartoon was meant for 8-year-olds, and it was terrible. That's why they're all the Skeletor memes, right? Like we just remember this from our childhood so fondly. But if you go back and watch those episodes, it's not like people are clamoring to watch those in order like they are Dragon Ball Z or something, right?
Yeah, true. I mean,
there are a few people, don't get me wrong, if you like the original He-Man episodes, good for you. But, I mean, you can't deny that the stories are silly, right? They're usually encapsulated in one episode. There's not a through line, right? It's a kid's cartoon.
They're entertaining. And, I mean, that's like, I'm finding, like, with this case in point, though, I mean, like, at multiple points, you wanted to just, like, pull the parachute on this run of comics because you're like, I hate it.
Terrible.
It is, but at the same point,
written, the art isn't good.
At the same point, I want to get through it because I want to know where it goes, because where it goes leads us to other things.
Where it goes makes it worse, but
I guess it might make it worse. But
if you want to get into Captain America 377, finally, I mean, we can go ahead and start talking about it after your soliloquy. Right? I mean, you can go.
I mean, I'm just saying that, like, you get to a point in this or in any story, and you have to accept the fact that, like you said, it might not be what you expected, and it might not be great or good, but there are some takeaways.
Well, what are you saying? Like, I could go outside and have somebody hit me with a car and go, oh, that wasn't good, but the takeaway is I'm alive?
Yeah.
Like
that's
you're doing this find the silver lining and everything when sometimes there just isn't a silver lining, right?
You now know.
Like if you want to be a holistic collector and just collect everything, right? Like I watched the last Legion movie. You can go watch the Legion of Superheroes movie on Max if you still want to pay for Max's $199 a year to get no commercials in 4K. If you want to pay for that and you want to go watch it, you can. It's awful. I watched it anyway because I'm a completist and I watch everything with the Legion of Superheroes in it. I also didn't go online, to your point, and like just proclaim how awful it was, right?
Yeah.
And then tear it down or say, that's not my Legion that I grew
Just
up with.
watched it and you said, okay, I don't like it, so there it is.
Right. And I mean, I might, if somebody said, hey, it wasn't very good, I might be willing to have a discussion about the points in the plot that were not good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also argued with some folks online who were critiquing certain points, and I'm like, no, they pulled that right out of Legion history, so you're wrong, right? And there are people like, that would never happen, and I'm like, actually, I did the actually, I'm so sorry. Actually.
Oh, wow.
In this comic this happened.
Did you pull up your pants and twist while you did it? Actually.
Probably.
Flip your hair back?
I use my comic book files like they do in the She-Hulk's law firm. So, wow. But it's... I mean, I get that. So, I mean, but I think again, people can say whatever they want and they can be fans however they want. But I think there is a point where it's okay to acknowledge that something's just not very good. At the same time, please don't come at me with, well, that wasn't my Captain America or that wasn't my Legion, right? Like that wasn't my He-Man, right? That's the stuff I hate, right? Yeah. Tell me why the story wasn't good. And then we can go from there, right? Like if you're saying, well, the story's not good because spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen it, I watched the He-Man cartoon, and after the first episode, it was all about T-Love for like 5 episodes. And I wasn't expecting that, and I wanted them to tell me a story about He-Man, and so I didn't like it because I was wanting a story about different characters. Okay, cool, right? That's a holistically reasonable, like, rational thing to say.
Okay.
But if you're just like, I don't like this because it's not like the original cartoon, well, that's okay. I mean, you can have that opinion. You're certainly welcome to it, but it doesn't really explain the why or what is bad, right?
Yeah.
And of course, that's why we do this show, right? I mean, kind of the whole point of this show is to dissect things.
Yeah.
I do think you're sort of calling me out for my feelings about these books, but I mean, they're really bad.
Well, but
they're not good.
You would never have known who Diamondback was. Or we would never have gotten into Crossbones. I could have lived my whole
life without knowing who Diamondback was. Apparently, Crossbones is very important because he was in Captain America: Winter Soldier, clearly the best Captain America movie.
But we would never have known these things if we didn't read these books, Dan. And that's what I'm saying. These are the silver linings. These are the gumdrops falling from heaven.
The silver lining is I get to do some fantastically fun research.
Yeah.
Well,
and we would never get these backup stories at the end of every book that you love so much.
Did love so much.
Oh, this one is balls to the wall awesome. And we'll get there at the end of the story. So
really,
let's continue.
Well, anyway.
Shush your mouth.
Captain America 377. We're finally onto the first page after like 20 minutes of discussion. So, hey, it's back though, but now it's in like computer type font. Steve Rogers, born in the USA, raised to cherish the ideals of democracy. It's back, like the header's back. It was gone last issue, remember? It disappeared. Yeah. And Stan Lee presents Captain America, even though I don't believe Stan Lee is with the company at this time. But, Stan Lee clearly presents it. So that's...
Stan Lee's taking a hiatus from the company for a moment.
Actually, I think he still might have been. This is 90. He might have still been with the company, right? Isn't the mid-90s when he...
I think so, when he was off doing some TV shows.
Well, he wasn't active with the company. He was just
wasn't active with the company, yeah.
Well, anyway, this one is called The 100% Solution. What?
Ooh. Yeah, I don't understand. It sounds
this is the last issue, right?
Surprise!
I also am really uncomfortable with anything titled like The 100% Solution because it sounds too much like something else.
I know, exactly. When I saw that, I was like, ugh.
And then the Red Skull appeared at the end of the last issue. So, and then he's mentioned here, right on the first page. So, not super excited about that.
A lot of icky stuff.
Yeah.
Tied in.
Well, it just continues the lot of icky stuff that exists in the story. So we just keep going, I guess. And we have Red Skull saying, "I'm displeased with you, Crossbones. Your failure to eliminate the Kingpin complicates our business here in New York." And we've got Bullseye hanging out with a gun and
a sign and a sword. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to make this goon. Yeah. The second your goon leaves, you're alone. Kaboom. He's going to kaboom him.
He's gonna kaboom him.
He's gonna earth shattering him.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we get to the next page.
He's gonna kaboom him with like the cleaner. He's gonna clean him.
No, like the Martian.
Oh, kaboom!
Earth shattering.
I gotcha.
All right. Well, so now we're on the next page, and the Red Skull and Crossbones are still arguing, and Crossbones leaves and goes outside. Bullseye breaks in, shoots him in the head.
Shotgun.
And, yep, and he's presumably dead.
Boss!
Crossbones comes back in, is like, boss. And then now we get Crossbones and Bullseye getting into a fight.
Yeah.
Crossbones misses. And that means the fight should be over, right? Because Bullseye is shooting at Crossbones.
Right.
But Bullseye misses.
Oh, my gosh.
He misses the giant luchador with the giant X on his chest, giving Bullseye a clear target. So
yeah, he's the man that never misses.
Crossbones misses the clear target on Bullseye's head.
Uh-huh.
And then we get, and of course, you know what? I screwed up. I should have researched this. But now we get Crossbones diving out. Actually, I should have researched it, but I didn't notice it till now. And then we get the Bullseye with the big Bullseye, like the mask. And it looks like that. You may know. One of the listeners let us know. I'm not going to go look it up right now, but it looks like how Havoc used to be drawn very early on.
Yeah.
In X-Men.
Uh-huh.
Early appearances with that like kind of headpiece popping out.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. It's all distorted and weird.
It's his big head.
And then we get some fine, some fine dialogue here. Yo, Chubbs, my pop gun's out of ammo. You can come out now. And Crossbones comes out with holding a table, I guess.
Yeah. At first I was like, what is that? Is it a pizza, like a pizza pan? I don't know. But then
he says, "You're dead, clown. Crossbones, have you looked in the mirror?"
You're the clown.
And then Crossbones gets a hold of Bullseye because Bullseye apparently cannot live up to his name at all.
No.
And
he's failing a lot. He's rolling ones.
He's definitely, I mean, he can't hit this big giant guy target.
Yeah.
Okay. And so anyway.
Not at all. He's hitting the table all right.
Crossbones is going to crush his larynx, but he clearly can't do it fast enough because now Bullseye can spit in his eye.
Yeah. Wow.
See, and instead of just fighting when he gets spit in the eye and crushing his larynx, Crossbones decides it's a good idea to let go.
Well, because he gets hit in the eye with a tooth.
Oh, is it a tooth or is it spit?
No,
oh, it's the tooth. Sorry, that was the tooth. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. All right. So, okay, I'll give him a little bit on that. I still think I would have just held on, though, probably.
I mean, he's probably like, my eye.
Well, bad form no matter what. That's a terrible chokehold. Like, he could have gone a lot better with that and protected himself. I'm sure maybe. Paul, the jiu-jitsu lawyer, right, would
have taught him.
Yeah. But anyway, that's, And
then he gets stabbed with a sai.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the best fight we've ever seen.
It's a pretty good fight.
I guess, yeah. And then we get I think they just copied the scene from a few issues ago where Bullseye jumps out the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it easier to draw. Did we even get a cast of characters who made this issue anywhere here?
No, I think
not yet. No.
I think they just skip right through it. Like, no.
Nobody wants to take credit for this bad boy. Yeah, that's just true.
Get nothing.
So it's and then we get Crossbones back, and he's very confused because a Red Skull is a robot.
Oh my gosh, Boss is a robot?
Yeah.
He's a robot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, oh God, don't start. So I don't think this issue needs this. That's
you don't really? Because that was
you don't need sound effects.
That was Bullseye jumping out the window.
We get back, and then we've got Captain America at Avengers Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, CAT scan of his brain reads normal. Your point blank blast to his skull did no serious damage. Okay, so that's what Diamondback was all worried about.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's in the drip bag? And he's like, I got him under a strong sedative to help him sleep. At least part of his irrational behaviors stems from the fact that he's been up for 4 straight days.
That's a lot of days, man.
Yeah, so that exposure to that explosion, man, that really got the meth in his system. I mean, the ice.
The ice, baby. I'm surprised they didn't use that. I mean, this is the 90s. They could have been pumping that.
It's true. Well, anyway, he gets a noisy chair, and in addition to the noisy chair, the doctor's very upset, and he knocks Captain America out with a sedative, and so we've got and his costume is blue again.
Yeah, it's blue again. He's back to normal Cap.
He's not dark. He's not Mirror Universe Cap.
Yeah, he's not evil Cap. Evil Cap, I don't know.
Mirror Universe Cap. It's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Everybody from the Mirror Universe in Star Trek has a darker costume, right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Well, anyway, now we get an invigorating conversation between Diamondback and Black Widow and
their besties
J.
now.
Jonah Jameson's baby boy. Yeah. Oh my
Baby
God.
J.
Yeah.
Baby J.
Well, anyway, we get rid of Black Widow for now. So, all right, that works. And Diamondback's like, woo, don't know if I'm ever going to be as tough as her. Little jealousy there.
Yeah. She's like, I wish so.
Well, now we get back, and the Kingpin's very happy because Bullseye's like, I nailed him. He's dead.
I got some.
And he's like, I couldn't kill Crossbones. And now we get a very jealous Typhoid Mary again.
Oh yeah.
He says, yeah, well, then but she's very happy. She says, well, then without the skull, his ice operation should be ripe for a takeover. So now they don't want to put the other drug dealers out of business. They want to take it over. So they want to own the cocaine and the meth.
Right.
All through New York. Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
But what we find out is Red Skull's just chilling out on his jet in his suit.
Oh, damn it, Red Skull.
Coming up with the 100% solution.
Oh, hate it.
Well, as you continue to tap on literally everything on your desk, we get a moment of Captain America lying down again.
Yeah.
And he goes into a dream state. Is that what you were tapping out in Morse code on your desk?
Yes.
You were giving me a secret message about dream state here.
The dream state of Captain America.
And this is so fun. All right. That needle, I never noticed before how much it looks like the junkie needle. I should have asked him, the professor, what's in that super soldier formula of his? Professor Erskine, yes? Your serum is a drug, isn't it? Oh, little baby Cap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no. Little Steve Rogers, 90-pound weakling.
90-pound weakling.
Yeah, yes. And in the dream, he says, yes, you owe it your very life, Captain America, to a drug. Oh, my God. He took Captain America steroids. What will become of the world? Oh, my God. Oh, no. We can't have an American hero who used drugs.
No.
It's impossible. Well, are you ready for some fun facts, sir, before we get to the end of this flashback?
Yes.
Okay. Well, fun facts. First, we're going to do a quiz because you're so good at them.
Okay.
Who was the first superhero to rely on a drug, quote unquote, to have super strength?
The first superhero to rely on a drug to have super strength.
We'll say from the major comic companies, because I'm sure somebody's going to come back in and be like, so we're saying like Timely or Fox Syndicate or Wiz or not Wiz, whatever they were called. It's wrong in my brain this morning. And DC National, whatever, right? Like who was it?
Who was it?
And it's a superhero that's still used somewhat today, even on television. So it should be easy for you. Was on a television series, actually.
Was on a television series?
As of last year. Different. It would have been technically the person's son, but
with that big spider in my room.
Still the same superhero name.
Still the same superhero name.
Yeah.
Son. Superhero.
Well, it wasn't a son who I'm referring to, but.
Oh, it was the superheroes, the original person's son.
Same name though.
Same name.
No. Same name. The son has the same name.
The son has the same name.
Same superhero name. So, do you have a guess?
Takes
something for their superpower. Now, on the television show, he didn't take it for his superpower.
Okay. On the did not take it on the show.
You wouldn't have watched the show anyway, so.
I wouldn't have watched the show anyway.
You are out. Your time is running out.
Okay, my time is running out. I have no guesses to gander.
Well, the answer is Hour Man.
Oh, okay.
Right? Takes Miracolo to have an hour's worth of super strength.
Okay.
They had Rick Tyler on the Stargirl show.
Uh-huh.
When they were reuniting all the prodigy and ancestors of the original Justice Society.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I did a small bit of research, and Miracolo and Hour Man appeared in 1940 in March. So that would have been before in 1941 when Captain America first appeared. Mm-hmm. So there was actually a superhero out there that used a drug. Okay, so there you go. And they did, DC, of course, and we'll get into this, played it up, but they didn't play this up until after these issues. So we'll get into that in just a second, because I want to flip the page and take a look at what Captain America says as the Red Skull appears in his dream, and he says, "Wrong, Captain America is a mere product of a wonder drug. You're just a user of anyone who took the drug. In fact, anyone. You are nothing special without the drug. I refuse." And Steve Rogers like, I refuse to accept that. And, it's interesting, this dream he's having, because, up until this point, pretty much in Captain America's, lore, right? Wasn't it the whole point is they picked him out because I know it's the movie thing. I'd have to go back and read Captain America comics, which I haven't, but it wasn't the whole point that they picked Steve Rogers out because he was too small to go into the army, but he had the spirit of America and the ideals. Yeah. And that's why other people had gotten the drug and it turned them bad.
Didn't work for them in the way they wanted. Agent. Yeah. What are you talking about?
And so, anyway, we get this dream sequence.
Not Johnny.
Yeah, not Johnny. Well, anyway, then Captain America starts going crazy and throwing everything around, and he's like, drugs have nothing to do with it, nothing, and he's screaming. And Hank Pym shows up, famously known for hitting people himself, and he says, and Captain America's like, "I'm on drugs, I'm hallucinating, I need help." So we have the breakdown scene. Now, okay, before I get into some more fun facts, I really don't like this whole, I'm now addicted shit in this book.
Because it happens so quick?
Yes. I need help. Help from what? He got exposed. Most people do not take a drug one time and become addicted to it. I'm finding that this is spreading that dare myth, right, that was out there that scares people from even potentially using something, right, that might be beneficial to them.
Like the super serum.
Maybe like the super serum. I was sort of thinking maybe mental health drugs or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, it's melodramatic. And with the speed of the story, it sort of comes out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
The story is told so slowly, and then all of a sudden over 4 pages, we find out that Captain America is now regretful in his dreams that he has the super soldier serum. What?
Well, it's kind of been building up to it, but I can understand your I want to say you're reluctant to believe that it could happen. At that
where were they building up to this specifically? There's no mention of the. There was the question placed to him when he asked the I want to say you're right.
First guy that was isn't the super serum just a drug
Same
too?
Thing.
Yeah, and he was like, well, no, and he was very adamant that it wasn't. So the idea's been in the back of his head, and he's been pondering it since then. And now that he's coming to terms with the fact that he's on drugs, he's like, oh my God, is it the same thing? So now he's battling that. So in the state, I'm not going to say I'm with you. I believe that to make a jump like this in some ways is slightly illogical, but at the same point, to have that kind of thing seated and to wonder and ponder is not too far off of being
okay. I'll give it to you.
He can be affected to a point and be, I want to say, a little suspicious of everything because he's antsy.
Okay. Well, we turn the page and we get to the Red Skull's manufacturing facility right out of Breaking Bad.
Oh my gosh.
Or Better Call Saul, depending on your perspective there. And he's walking on a catwalk talking to Crossbones, who's now in his Crossbones coat.
He looks like he's about to jump off down through the cage into the squared circle.
Well, that's funny that you should mention that, but I'm going to hold on that for 1 second. So I'm really ready to talk about something, but we have to wait till the backup story. So
all right.
We get the Red Skull, and he's like, the beauty is none of the chemicals that make up crystal methamphetamine are in themselves illegal. Thus, we need not concern ourselves with cultivation and importation of illicit cash crops. But that was hard to read because that is written with lots of hyphens.
Yes.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4 hyphens in that word bubble.
Cash crops. Crystal methamphetamines.
Well, that's a lot of hyphens in a single word bubble.
Yes.
Perhaps they should have organized that a little bit better. But anyway, I can just find the smallest things about this book now. They're just annoying. But then the Red Skull just murders one of his scientists, and
gases.
She was a bad accountant, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Okay, yeah. So we get a couple pages illustrating how evil the Red Skull is with his crystal meth empire.
Yeah.
I thought his crystal meth warehouse had been blown up.
Maybe he has a few.
He said the main manufacturer of ice were introducing. So a few hours later, inside a building that from the outside appears to be an ice cream factory. Asshole. What an asshole.
I know, right?
Yeah. An ice cream factory. Yeah. What a jerk. Right. Anyway, well,
nice, man.
That's just I guess he has multiple. I mean, I think for some consistency, a good editor probably would have mentioned
having multiple
that he had multiple buildings, since the whole basis of this story is that the manufacturing facility blows up and Captain America breathes it, right? And then makes him sick for 4 days, right?
Yeah.
Okay, since that's the premise for the story, an editorial note probably should indicate that there are multiple warehouses.
Locations. I mean, like we know here in the Northwest, every good pusher has multiple locations, Starbucks. So we know that they're on every corner.
Right. I mean, every old neighborhood in the Northwest has their special meth house, right?
I was talking about Starbucks. But
oh, okay. I mean, think how many meth houses are in Heritage Glen these days, probably.
I bet there are. And that's depressing.
Well, anyway, as we continue.
Wow.
I just dropped that one on you out of nowhere.
So many people they're like, this is my
What are they talking about?
My family's future. I know, right? My family's future. I'm gonna invest in this neighborhood that's gonna be so big and
now it's full of meth houses. Yeah, I mean, it's just increasing the value.
Decreasing the value.
I know, clearly increasing. I can go buy that meth house, redo it, and sell it for a whole bunch. It's called gentrification.
It's gonna cost you so much to redo that house.
Well, anyway, now we get into the most fucking ridiculous part. We're to the most ridiculous fucking part of the story now. So now we're at Avengers headquarters, and Steve Rogers is talking to Dr. Keith, and he said, "That's it, Keith. I've finished the blood work."
Yeah.
Oh no, that's Hank Pym. Sorry, Hank Pym is talking to Dr. Keith, and he says the only way I can get the methamphetamine molecules out of Cap's system is by a total blood transfusion. What kind of horseshit is this?
Well, it was the 90s, and believe it worked for other things. They believed it worked for other things.
Eddie says, And the doctor's like, well, that will completely eliminate the super soldier serum from his blood as well. He'll have a normal metabolism without it. And Hank Pym's like, I know that. I'm not sure what else can be done.
If it could clean Keith Richards, it could clean Captain America.
This is where this story just gets ridiculous, though. That's like literally just not how the fucking drug works.
I don't know. I'm not Hank Pym. I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
All right. Well,
I mean, are you?
Well, Hank Pym gives us the dramatic line, to save Steve Rogers, we may have to kill Captain America. Hey, do you remember that time that Denny O'Neil decided to take Wonder Woman's superpowers away?
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
Didn't.
Oh, well, shit. Well, now we get to the next page, and I finally get something I like in this comic book. Yankee Stadium the next evening. Final score, Red Sox 26, Yankees 2. All right. Something good to cheer about in this comic. Fucking Yankees losing.
To the Red Sox.
So Wilson Fisk is not happy.
No. He's an angry man.
And his people are telling him that they're clearing out all the fans and there's no report or sign of the Red Skull. So he must clearly be safe. And now we have morose Steve Rogers as Captain America. So he says, so that's it. I slept 36 hours straight. They gave me a total blood transfusion. And just like that, I'm cured. At least I think I am. I'm not quite sure if I can trust my judgment anymore. When I attacked Daredevil, Black Widow, Diamondback, I thought I was acting rationally then. Oh, my God.
He was not.
Feels odd not to have the super soldier serum inside me. Not that you can tell from looking at me. It would take months of inactivity before I lose muscle tone to any great extent. False. So now what? Without the super soldier serum, can I still be Captain America? Yes. I mean, he wouldn't lose his muscle tone. But if he did have heightened metabolism before, it doesn't take months of inactivity to put on some fat. Trust me. You can do that in a couple of weeks.
He's gonna do it. It's gonna happen overnight. Like all of a sudden he'll be.
Yeah. I mean, Paul Boudreau, the jiu-jitsu lawyer, trains like 4 to 6 hours a day.
Do you think he'd become fat in America?
That would fapped in America.
Whoa! That's a different comic book, Dan. That's a different comic book.
They made those in the 40s too. So
they still do.
Well, and they're smaller size, but yeah. Well, anyway, Agent Carter finally is doing her job as the communication officer.
Yeah. Sorry, it just keeps going.
Yeah. So I better hit the alarm. And we get, wait, maybe. And he's like, can I confide in you, Peggy? I'm frightened. They took the super soldier serum from me. I'm afraid I can't be Captain America anymore. Being Cap in my life, Mademoiselle, my one true calling. If I can't be Cap, I don't know what. It's like reading early Spider-Man issues right now.
Yeah. This whole page is great. I love it.
Dun 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 dun.
So good. Yeah, I know. Then the walk away. He puts his fingers to her lips.
Dum 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 dum. Yep, there we go. Okay, and that's the end of the issue. We've Captain America no more. Oh wait, there's one more page. Yankee Stadium. Oh, we've got a meeting between Mr. Fisk and the Red Skull. And elsewhere, at that moment, the depowered Sentinel of Liberty careens over the Manhattan skyline, anxious to prove his self-worth, unaware that the proving will pit him against at least two of the most dangerous men alive.
Ooh.
The frenetic. Give me a break, Mark Gruenwald. The frenetic finale of Streets of Poison. I hate you so much.
Oh my god!
The most desperate battle of Cap's life.
I can't wait. I am excited. It's gonna go down.
Well, since we got no credits for this one, I'll let you know that Mark Gruenwald wrote it, Ron Lim penciled it, Danny Bulanadi inked it. The colorist was Steve Buccellato, letterer Joe Rosen, and the editor, my favorite editor, Ralph Machio.
Karate Kid. Ka-cha.
No, not, unfortunately. Hey, but the Battlestar story actually gets credits.
Yay!
We're on to the backup story. Okay, so we're to the Battlestar story, but I do want to take a quick interlude.
Okay.
So we were looking at, I've been asking through these issues, like, kind of a who did it first, right? And so Captain America, I don't necessarily think Captain America was a ripoff of Our Man, but it's possible in a sense because, certainly DC sued other company, right?
Yeah.
Over ripoffs of heroes, far enough where it's a serum versus a pill. And, I think we have different ways people get powers, right? So, I think a lot of it, and, Stan Lee even talked about that, right? Like, well, let's just have, mutants, right? So we don't have to explain it every single time. But we were kind of looking at it. So, I guess National Comics probably did it first, right? With Rex Tyler. But then now it gets a little ridiculous because we have this whole abysmal storyline. And then DC's like, yeah, let's copy it. Like a year later, Bane is introduced in March of 1991. Do you know the origin of Bane's drug Venom?
It comes from, what can I think? Poison Ivy.
No, it comes from Miraclo.
It comes from Miraclo. So yes. He's on time?
So some Miraclo was used in the original formula, to create the Venom drug. So yeah, it's just interesting how, I mean, good on DC for threading that, but they create their own. It's funny that like a year after this, DC is creating their own super soldier serum for a bad guy out of the drug that was probably pseudo copied to make Captain America. I find things like this in comics to be so cool and fascinating, way more interesting than this issue, right? The thread lines there.
I find it also interesting and fascinating.
You do not. I mean, that's why I have the piles of history books.
Honestly, no, I do find it interesting and fascinating because you find it interesting and fascinating, and then you educate me in the things that I haven't taken the time to learn about 100%. But you have. You know what?
Stay on your good behavior, or I'm not going to tell you about your present at the end of the episode.
Well, I'm being serious though, because I do appreciate that you go that extra mile, like the gas station, grocery store, and you get me the good stuff, like AM/PM, the other gas station, grocery store, or
the stuff from the manufacturer in the comic, the good stuff. I don't get you house meth.
No, but anyway,
I get you meth from the manufacturer.
Sure. Well, my point being is that you bring me these things, and I'm like wowed by your intelligence, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, cool, interesting. No,
so because Battlestar.
Well, I'm being serious, and I'm not trying to. I mean, I know you like it when people stroke your ego, Dan.
So Battlestar.
But I'm being
for
serious.
Broke is the title of this one. Yeah, yes. And it looked like Battlestar's last stand until U.S. Agent shows up. All right.
Oh.
And Battlestar, who's now depowered because he got depowered too.
Yes,
right?
He got depowered with all the other superpowered wrestling fighters,
like the Blimp Zeppelin.
All the other muscle men.
Well, anyway, we get a giant fight.
It's a big old fight inside this. I don't know what the heck. Is this like some sort of medical facility? What do they got? It's like a weird holding area. I don't know.
Well, clearly they got rid of their powers in different ways, right? Because when Battlestar lost his powers, he became like tiny, but Captain America loses his and he's not. Yeah. So if Captain America really wanted to get that drug out of his system and not benefit from the drugs he took, maybe he should have used this other method.
Yeah. Suck it all out as opposed to cycle out your blood. Keith Richards style.
Well, anyway, we can summarize this comic by we have a fight scene. Oh, something happens. Okay. Battlestar moves that weird guy in the wheelchair. I don't know his name. And then they're fighting the giant guy in the exoskeleton.
Yeah.
And then he's going to break him. The guy in the exoskeleton with the extra enhanced muscles from the drugs sort of reminds me of another character I think we mentioned the last podcast, who I just mentioned now. That's like Bane, like it's a cross Bane.
Oh yeah, like a Bane Vereen.
Crossbane. I think he's
Crossbane.
Crossbones and Bane.
He's Crossbane. Okay, yeah. Got it. I gotcha.
Well, anyway, we get some more fighting, and the Battlestar gets thrown down, and his shoulder is all hurt, and he's like, "Oh no, what can I do? They're all bigger and stronger than me now. Oh no, I'll have to use my brain." So he he goes and grabs a fire extinguisher, and he threatens to destroy all the machinery. And then comes in Johnny Walker with his all bloody and torn up, and Battlestar's like, "Johnny." And we get the next issue, The Road Back is coming next.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it was so great.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good because, like, you know, he kicks over like exoskeleton Bane in the face and kicks away his like talking box, which is like telling his Alexa body to do stuff. And he's like, "Oh shoot, I can't do this, I can't do that," and like, you know, he is using his noggin instead of he's using his smarts. Yeah.
This issue happened, right? Like, I
liked it. You didn't. That's where we're at.
I there's no possible way you like that issue. Like, it's brutal. It's just the whole notion of he's just like, "Oh yeah, like I'm just gonna keep being Captain America."
He's got to find out if he can or if he can't.
I mean, like, he shouldn't even be able to hold his shield, basically, right? Like, I
mean, he doesn't know. Maybe he doesn't know any better, and in his brain he keeps thinking he can, so he just keeps trying. It's, you know, just his body is like, I can do it, and the adrenaline's there.
I mean, when you run out of good ideas for stories, you start changing the core elements of the character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're out of good ideas for that character now, right? So now, instead of introducing like better supporting cast or focusing on some other element or something like that, and I get it's difficult to write. I mean, Mark Gruenwald wrote Captain America for a long time. Much longer than this. I feel like he's already out of ideas. Like, my idea is to take Captain America and then he'll have no powers. So he'll just be
Captain America.
He'll just be a person. Captain America will now just be
Captain Person.
He'll
be American Person.
And to do it here where he's trying to like scare people away from drugs, right? Like, I mean, I get this sort of like whole early 90s, late 80s vibe to this, right? We're going to scare the kids away from drugs. But this whole notion, like, this is the kind of shit when kids are told it that makes them not trust people, right? When you write a story that's like, meth will stay in your body forever when you take it. I'm not saying we should encourage people to take meth. Let's be real fucking clear.
Yeah.
Meth is shitty, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I was going to recommend against any drug, it would be fucking meth, right? But just the way they do this, right? Just tell a real story, right?
They blanket everything, and they don't tell you if there's any good stuff out there. Like, you know, they just blanket it. They do a generalization. They don't tell you. They don't differentiate between anything that could be good or deemed good at some point or acceptable. Just say it's all bad.
Tell a meth story, right? They sort of start with it at the beginning with the random Avenger, redheaded guy.
Yeah.
And then, like, but they don't continue. Like, the good thing about Demon in a Bottle, even though, you know, was that, like, over time, right, his addiction to alcohol led to these different bad things happening, right?
Yeah.
And in this story, they're like, I got side exposed to meth once. And then all of a sudden it's in my system for a few days. All of a sudden that bonds with the super soldier serum somehow. And that, you know, means I have to get a permanent blood transfusion because I was side exposed. You know, it reminds me of the fake cop stories right now about that cop being supposedly exposed to fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
And they've discredited it now. I don't know if you read. Yeah, that's the kind of shit that makes people not trust authorities or not trust people above them, right? And this is the kind of, this is the kind of thing that you do that gets a kid to either laugh, right, at when somebody tells them about the danger right here of an actual legitimately dangerous thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like legit people. I'm sorry, you can blast me wherever. People should not use meth. That's one you should just never use, right?
Mm-hmm.
I cannot think of a circumstance where, crystal meth is a good idea.
Yeah, no, it's bad news.
I mean, there's enough stimulants out there that are safer that it's just not a good idea, right? If you want to, I'm not saying go out and do this, but I'd much rather have somebody, take a giant fucking energy drink than go seek out meth. Okay,
right.
Fine, right? Like we can get into that and degrees of drugs. If I'm going degrees of drugs, I probably think meth is probably, one that is something that probably is. It's on the top of my shit list, right?
Yeah, it's on the things that you just don't dabble.
But at the same time, like this kind of thing, like it makes you laugh at it instead of thinking it's a really serious thing, right? Like, what if it had been built up over time? Like, what if one of the characters really was having an issue?
Mm-hmm.
What if we saw that people, were genuinely using it? What if we go back to Ann Nesenti's story, right? Like, what if there's a background character in the story that, his family is selling this to make money? I mean, I don't know. Maybe there was a whole television series where this happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is my issue, right? Like, you're asking me to, you were calling me out or calling everyone out, not me specifically, but for not saying why they don't like a story, right?
Right.
I mean, this is the kind of storytelling to me that's disingenuous.
I was calling myself out too, so.
Yeah. It's just disingenuous storytelling, right? It's trite and it doesn't help. And then this notion that's just like, okay, I took this, now let's go the other way, right? He's like, all right, well, we pulled these steroids out of my system and hey, it's going to take months for me to lose my gains. Okay, that's true, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this whole notion that he's just like going to go out and fight in the same way with the same vigor and do all his flips and shit.
I mean, some stuff is muscle memory, some stuff is learned.
Yeah, but the whole point of the serum is that it like grew him instantly, right?
Yeah.
And they have the backup story where everybody's just like, they take it away and they all shrink, right?
Right.
It's like they didn't get their little blue pills.
Mm-hmm.
So I see you're not going to touch that one. So it's okay. I'm done. I'm done with this one. I'm done. I'm done. Right. Like, it's just.
But there's one more episode left.
No. Yes. He gave up his powers. This should be over.
No, there's one more episode. We need to find out.
He put his finger on Peggy Carter's lips. It should be done. He walked away. That's the end of the Spider-Man story. Like, we start a new story after that, right?
No.
When Spider-Man walks away and gives up everything, we start a new arc, right?
Captain America has to battle the two baddest men in town.
If one of those is Crossbones, I'm calling foul. the dangerous men alive, I believe.
Oh, dangerous men alive. So
and they can't even kill each other.
He's going to be fighting Leroy Brown and baddest man in town.
Yep.
It's better than big old King Kong.
The whole damn town.
The whole damn town. That's right.
Badder than old King Kong. Meaner than a junkyard dog. Yeah.
You know it.
Of course I know Bad Leroy Brown. Who doesn't know that song?
There are
Jim Croce.
There are people that don't. The mustache, the old man. Who else would he be fighting?
Maybe like Namor.
You always say Namor.
Maybe I'm a big Namor fan.
It sounds like it. I mean, here I'm thinking.
Maybe I just don't know. Maybe he's fighting.
We were talking about all this.
The Juggernaut.
We were talking
the Juggernaut.
All this. No. We were talking all. You're all like in the Marvel universe, but we were talking all the He-Man stuff. Maybe he's gonna fight. And I know you're thinking I'm gonna say Skeletor, but no, I'm gonna say Beast Man.
Okay.
You know why? Because I like the Beast Man song.
Well, I would just like to say we have some things to look forward to in the next issue.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
We have Captain America with no powers.
Yeah.
Number two.
Yeah.
We get a naked club fight between Wilson Fisk and the Red Skull.
Whoa! I thought you were gonna say Leroy Brown and and Beastman.
No, we get a muscle bear against a twink. It will be fantastic.
It'll be interesting. Pay-per-view. It's got nothing on this fight.
I'll call him a twunk. A twunk.
A twunk. He's a twunk.
Yeah.
Is he a twunk?
He's got some good muscle definition. The Red Skull does. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wilson needs a little bit more hair. I don't believe that Wilson Fisk shaves everywhere. Like,
you don't think he's not? So do you think under that that turtleneck ascot thing, he's just like a sweater vest of fur?
He's got to be, right? Like,
he's just
anyway. You know what?
Like, rub down.
Folks, we're giving away some good content for the next episode, so we're going to stop now. We don't want to give away, because Captain America 378 is so fantastic. We certainly shouldn't give away anything else about the next episode.
What?
But if you're looking for a fight, be here on the next episode of Funny Book Forensics, because you're going to get one. Like, it's going to be a fantastic battle.
That's right. It's something to behold.
Do you have anything to plug, sir?
I got nothing at the moment.
Really?
I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure by the time this goes up, Supernatural Baby Detective will have run its course. But if it has not,
it is fully funded.
It is fully funded, but we are still going for those stretch goals, and we're still hoping to hit that mark of $1,000 more than what we needed. Because if we do hit that, then good Lord, people are getting things and stuff. And I'm gonna eat that blue hot dog. I'll say it on here. I know. Well, because I made it and I have to eat it. Vulgar Chef made these Kool-Aid hot dogs. I made one myself for the Kickstarter. I said if we hit this mark, we get the funding or this many backers, whichever one, and it happened. I have a grape flavored hot dog, but for some reason it came out the color blue as opposed to purple, because it's like grape Kool-Aid, but it's blue, and a hot pickle to go with it. A friend of the show, Amanda, had told me that she's very fearful that if I eat this, she's fearful that I might get sick. I said, but they sell these things separately and people eat them all the time separately. And she goes, but not together.
I don't approve of this.
It's an unholy union of hot dogs and Kool-Aid and hot pickles.
Just to be clear, I don't approve of this.
You don't approve of it either? Okay. But I'm going to do it. Everybody disapproves of my dumb food challenges. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's happening.
Off the air, we can talk about some of your real life consequences from these decisions.
Oh yeah, no, the all the health things. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
But that's cool. Well, I will go. What I'm going to tell you is I don't have anything to plug right now either, except to say, I'm going to continue training with the great Paul Boudreau, jiu-jitsu lawyer, and keep burning off this fat. And what I can tell you is, based off my belly, it definitely takes months and months of not training at your full capacity to lose that muscle and gain fat. Months.
It takes months. But
and
where
if
do
you're
you
not
do this
sensing
training at?
Seeing the dripping sarcasm.
Where are you doing this training at?
I do it at Certified Martial Arts on Bridgeport Way in University Place / Tacoma, Washington.
I hear good things.
Right on 27th and Bridgeport. Yeah.
If you want to.
But don't do what I do. Paul just trains me. Go train with Paul and learn jiu-jitsu.
And take some titles like his class.
Oh, yeah. They go to tournaments and they win things. And I just for plugging Paul's shop, it's not just a bunch of sweaty men in there. It's a lot of it's not just a bunch of sweaty young teenage and 20-year-old men. It's everyone.
Yeah, no, he's got
all
some
ages.
Of the best women grapplers out there that are
17 years old, I believe.
Yeah, taking titles.
May still be 16. May still be 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. So if you want to go train with one of the best, there you go. And I'm sure he'll train you like he does me too, if you ask him to, and keep that slim, trim body going. But yeah, it's well worth it. So I guess I'll plug that. I don't know if it'll be done. I'll have to check before we are done, but I know you mentioned Dime Store Detective too, by John Dexter. So I would hit that up on Kickstarter as well if you can. That's the same person that did Alpha Dogs that we reviewed.
Right.
So really love that book. And, if you have something on Kickstarter that you'd like us to plug or read, right, just know we don't pull any punches, right? Like if we read your book, it's going to be just like this. We're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I'll try to find a silver lining. Dan will just dump on it relentlessly. I mean,
I might like it. You never know. We're going to do it. But I mean, we'll have to do it.
He might tell you all the things that he loves about it, and then I might tell you what I don't like about it. Because we do that. That's what we do on Funny Book Forensics.
So, we dissect and analyze things. That's the whole nature of the game. But if you do have something from Kickstarter and you want to get a hold of us, have us read it and talk about it on the podcast, you can get in touch with us through Facebook at Funny Book Forensics. Just direct message us there, or you can use X and do Funny Book 4N6, and you can reach out to us that way as well. So, and if you're a listener and you want us to review something like Capwolf, which I'm never going to do, but if you want us to do something,
we're totally going to do this.
If you have something out there that you want us to review, I would love another recommendation for drug and alcohol books from the late 90s or 2000s. So if you have something out there that you want us to do, maybe I'm just tossing it out there. Maybe I should go find the issues of JSA where Rick Tyler is dealing with the after effects of Miracolo, and then we could compare it to this story and see if one is better than the other one. There's a lot of avenues we get to take, and we love pulling the threads from history. So if you have something you want us to review, I know a lot of people just like us to listen to us riff on bad books, and that's fine. We'll happily do that for you.
Capwolf is a drug book.
Yeah, if you could just give me a fun, just great book to read,
Capwolf.
It warms my heart.
Capwolf.
The description of Capwolf says it's one of the worst stories in the history of comics.
No, this one that we're doing right now is the worst story in the history of comics. Capwolf. No.
That's not true. I sent you the description and it said.
I don't listen to those descriptions, man. I listen to my heart, and my heart says we should do Capwolf.
Mm-hmm. And your heart has led you so many good directions.
It has. It led me to becoming friends with you, finding my wife. I mean, doing all the things that I love in life. I mean, there was some also bad things, but I mean, we don't talk about those.
Well, anyway, that's a good place to wrap up this edition of Funny Book Forensics. We love you, and thanks for hanging in there as we go through Streets of Poison. We'll be away from it soon and off to greener pastures, hopefully. And we're out.